Yeah, so you can continue to talk a little bit about, you know, the player. My question is, will the playing the ice hockey affect their study, and also, you know, to what time they can sort of decide that they should do professionally, or should they?
My way of thinking is that you should bring your head with you the whole life. So I think you should combine studying with sport. And I think that's why I think you should do the domestic league in both band and ice hockey as into the universities, as they have done in basketball. Then it's some guys go professional, let them go. But your sports career is normally over after you're 30. So what should you do without an exam?
Mm-hmm.
So,
but in China, you know, it's the opposite. China has a university which recruits a lot of sports people.
Yeah.
And in order to recruit good players to the university, so they lower the normal subjects scores. Yeah. Compare with the other students.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you think of this practice?
In practice, I think my simple way of thinking is that as a sportsman, you need your skills like a plumber, but you also need to be good at communication. So if you communicate good, you can talk with media, you get the relaxed thing and handle things. And sports people are very good, for example, in my business here in Sweden, doing events, because it could be panic doing events, so you need people who can be relaxed in pressure situation. And also I think the basics, if you're good in the basics, and that we talk of write, read and talk, and also mathematics, of course. That's the really thing you really bring with you in your life. Of course, you could not be an engineer without deeper knowledge in physics and other things. But it's a lot of things you can actually do if you just could read, write, and talk and count. And I think the English language in the future is a little bit the key.
So you have emphasized that the players, they should learn some different language, right? The Swedish learn some Chinese and Chinese learn some English.
Exactly. It's fun actually. If you go back to 2005, we had 5 Swedish kids up and a coach in Harbin, and the same in Shichihar. And we had from Shichihar and Harbin, it was 3 players and a coach coming to us. And each morning in the Walden bar, we had the players had lessons in both. The Chinese players learn English, and the Swedish Nordic players actually learn Chinese. So I said that from the beginning, to increase the knowledge and the understanding, even if it's also what I say in hockey, you say that in Detroit, our language is ice hockey. In the sport, good people in the sport, they understand each other just by the sport. But to increase the understanding, we tried to insert also the language. That was one of the major problems we had to insert the Chinese. That was a little bit hard to talk to them, because some of them doesn't read English. But I think the Olympics 2008 actually started a good campaign where China is very far ahead of for example, Japan. And I think that's one of the strengths in the Korean system, why they have built so strong businesses like Samsung and others international, that they has focused on the English language, which means that many Koreans can reach outside Korea. Mm-hmm. And I think that is a thing that China is coming strong to understand, that the English language is very important.
Mm-hmm. So what's your sort of plan for the future? Is both near, short term or long term?
short term is always tough to get the budgets together, and during the years it has been an expensive hobby to help China, and I really hope now that they go back and look and see what I produce, and not just try to put all the money in the same pocket again, because that pocket hasn't been either profitable or really good actually. So that's one, and the long term is to get both the sport resources good enough and also finance it long term.
I heard that they call you Lei Feng actually. Is it I mean it's a comment or command? Is it? How do you think of it?
Actually, I didn't.
You didn't.
I didn't notice, but you know, I noticed when I'm in winter sport that they will always be very nervous when I came, because they know that I do things.
Yeah, that means that you do something really good. You help China and players to have this exchange. Yeah. So we hope that more kind of investors or wise men, they will invest in this sport. But you also...
But that's actually a thing that I can address. It's not that much we need.
Okay, yeah.
It's not that much money we need, but we need ice rink. Right now we need or bandy ice. We need some base resources to buy some equipment. We need to travel. We need to eat. That's the basics.
And you think that if China sort of form a woman bandy club or team, is it a good time now? Just 7 years ago?
Yeah, it's good time. And basically, my view, I've seen some of the girls. For example, we arranged 2 games here in the spring against the China national team in ice hockey, and against the Swedish team, and I've known since I was here 2005, because then I supported an American girl who worked with from New Islanders actually, who worked with the China women's team in ice hockey in that day. So I know that China hockey has a long tradition. So I believe actually that with a good skating tradition, I think it's possible, if they start now, to actually take a medal. I believe it's going to be hard in hockey, also for the girls, to reach the medal. But if they combine the sport and put a little bit of the resources into both sport, they will increase the skating capacity in the team, and that will affect both bandy and hockey long term. So I think it's a good time, and I think you have the skating knowledge and the existing skating capacity in the country will be enough to reach the goal if they start to be serious.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I think with that we end this edition, and we are looking forward to both the Chinese and Swedish teams who play beautiful bandy and ice hockey in the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing.
Okay. Thanks.